Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo Sport, and we're going back a few weeks to a daily race C at Sardegna A in reverse in the Group 2 cars. This was a very fun race, but there was one incident involved in this race that I want your opinion on. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about it, what you thought about this week's race as well when this was on. This was one of my favourite weeks in a while, with a bit of a dodgy pit exit, I have to say. Caused a lot of controversy, but yeah, we're starting this race from P4. We're on our second account. We're starting the race on the medium tyres. Obviously, we have Fire in P2, and in P1 we have Pirata, or Pirata, whatever we like to call him, in P1. One of the fastest drivers actually on the game. He's a very fast Gran Turismo driver. I think he qualified P1 in the qualifications for the Nations event at Suzuka a while ago. So yeah, very fast driver. So we're starting from P4. Let's see what we can do on the medium tyres. Now, obviously starting on the medium tyres because we've got a bit of slipstream here, and also it gives us a chance to push towards the end. Now, we knew from previous races that P1 was tending to start on soft tyres on the first stint, and our pace was pretty good here. It was quite competitive. It normally is when we've got medium and soft tyres, Juice, because I do prefer the softer compound of tyre for racing on. It tends to give a little bit more grip, a little bit more confidence in being aggressive when driving, and that kind of suits my style. So we're behind P3 here now. We're looking for a wave pass straight away. Now, he's clearly on the medium tyres as well. He's gone in a little bit aggressive there, but he's managed to make it slow down. A little bit sketchy on the rear, obviously with the slipstream to Fire. When you're in that dirty air in Group 2 cars, it can be a little bit tricky to put the power down. But yeah, we're doing okay at the moment. We're going to look at the replay camera here as we're looking at these cars battling away now. Fire also clearly starting on the medium tyres. All three of us dropping away from P1, but that's to be expected with him starting on the soft tyres. But yeah, we're going to get a run now on P3. We've got a run around the outside, and we've actually got a nice exit there as he ran a little bit wide. Can we go around the outside? P3 brakes a little bit late, squeezes us to the curb, but that's okay. And we're going to go side by side, and we actually give up that corner. But now we've got a nice run back on P3 into the final corner. Can we make a move up the inside? Look at this. I love watching the replay cameras when the cars are side by side like this, as we send one up the inside, making a nice move and making that position up into P3. So we're going to push on now and see if we can manage to get up to 5. You can see we actually lost quite a bit of pace there with that little bit of battling. P4 made a few mistakes in that section, and now we've managed to get past. Can we manage to catch up to 5? But we've got to be careful now because the driver behind has got that slipstream. Is he going to go for a move? He's going to half look at a move, but yeah, kind of backed out of that, and we take the inside line to the corner and accelerating now into this very tricky right hand corner in these cars. It was almost flat in medium. You could pretty much do it flat out in mediums, but to give it a nice little safety lift was probably the advisable thing to do. But yeah, you could do it completely flat. It's whether you had the confidence to do it. But now we're pushing now to see if we can catch up to Fire. We're 1.4 seconds behind, 1.5 seconds behind Fire now on these medium tyres, and our pace was pretty close to Fire's. It was maybe a tiny bit slower when Fire was driving at 100%, but it wasn't that much different. Our pace was actually really solid at this combination. So pushing on, and this was, I think, our first race that we had done with changing the brake force to 70%. We're now on 73% brake force on the load cell with the Fanatec V3 inverted brake pedal. So yeah, we've gone up a bit more, and I do think it is helping my performance, especially it's showing in some of the results we've been getting recently that little bit more brake pressure needed to put down is definitely helping our pace. So hopefully we might go up to 75 soon, maybe in a couple of weeks, and then eventually try and get it up to 80%. I'm doing it gradually because I don't want to go instantly really high, because although it'd be good to get used to, I think it might put me out of pace for quite a few weeks, and I'd rather do it gradually. But now we go over the line there and we do quite a solid lap on the medium tyres, just trying to get some consistency. Now we see we've managed to drop the guy behind. I think he actually went for a very early pit stop there, which for me was probably a little bit too early pitting off the medium tyres, because you're probably going to catch up to some of the soft runners, some of the medium runners at the back, and maybe some of the soft runners that haven't pitted. And yeah, I was always going to carry on for at least 4 laps. It would all depend what Fire does. As we come through here to complete lap 3, we can see we're doing another solid lap, going through the sectors on a personal best, and we are actually getting a little bit closer to Fire. You can see the gap's down to 1.2, 1.1 seconds. We've actually gained 3 or 4 tenths on him in the last few laps, and that shows you just how strong our pace was to be able to stay with someone as fast as Fire. But like I say, Group 2 does tend to be quite a strong combination of car for myself, and this track actually I really enjoy the flow of this. I think this is probably an underused track in the game. I really like the way this flows in high downforce. And another great thing about this track is you can actually follow cars in high downforce, because the way the track layout is, you can actually get into the slipstream and follow and then make moves on them. So it actually leads to very enjoyable racing, and these are the type of races that I absolutely love being involved with, when we've got some of the best drivers on the game in front of us and we're trying to push to stay with them or even hunt them down. It's such an enjoyable experience. As Fire goes wide out of that corner, he's going to have dirty tyres now from there, and it's going to probably hurt him in this final section. You see he's having to take it very easy, and his car is very sketchy there with them dirty tyres, and now we've got the run on him. Now Fire decides here, I think, to go in the pits and get them tyres off, because he's obviously got the dirty tyres. So to not lose any more time, he pits and he's going to put the soft tyres on. I decided to stay out because I was running quite well on these mediums, and I felt confident that we could do a reasonable lap on that 5th lap. So we go in lap 5, and now we're going to have a tyre advantage over Fire. So it's going to be really interesting. Where do we come out the pits? And as we come out here, we've got Fire going down the right side. I stay as close to the curb as possible to give him as much space as possible. And that was a close one. Fire just about made it round the outside. We give him the space on the outside. And the good thing here, though, is we're nearly in his slipstream. You can see we're just trying to get used to the soft tyres. We're around 8-9 tenths behind him. But this is good for the race, because we've got 1 lap fresher tyres on the soft tyre, and we're going to be pushing to catch up to P1. So, and another good thing is, by the time that P1 puts on the medium tyres, Fire will be catching him up, and then they'll be battling, which will possibly lose them a bit of time. So this is going to be a really interesting race at the end of the race. Where does it all pan out? Who is going to be in P1 at the end? It's going to be a very intriguing battle as we work our way down this real power zone into the left and right hand corner. And you can see again, Fire now about 1.2 seconds, as he's obviously a little bit more confident on them soft tyres. Does tend to take you sometimes, you know, like an outlap, just to get used to the tyre, extra grip that you've got over the mediums, just because you're getting a little bit of a cycle of running the medium tyres a certain way, and then yeah, once you get used to them soft tyres, you can start pushing and seeing what sort of pace you can do. So yeah, at the moment 1.2 seconds the gap is, trying to maintain that gap, and hopefully as the laps go on we should be able to get a little bit closer to Fire when our tyres are obviously that 1 lap fresher. As we're now coming over the start straight, and we're going to finish halfway through this race, 50% of the race done, and it's looking very interesting because P1 doesn't seem to be too far in front. He's still going to pit obviously, and I was quite surprised he was going this long. And now I probably would have done 7 laps if I started on soft tyres, something like that. But yeah, as we skip ahead to lap 8, he still hasn't pitted, so he decided to go for 8 laps on the soft, which for me was a little bit iffy, probably because he probably did it because he wanted to have fresher mediums versus our more worn soft tyres. But yeah, I probably would have pitted lap 7 to try and build up a bit more of a gap ahead, because I'm sure them soft tyres would have been fading after 8 laps. But he must have been doing a good job with the tyres, looking after them, and he's into the pits after 8 laps on the soft tyres. And you can see we're starting to catch Fire up now. We're under a second away from him. Obviously where we've got them fresher tyres, that is helping us push and catch him up as we're pushing the limits through there. Fire almost going into the gravel as we work our way down the straight, and we actually, it looks like we're in the slipstream now. We're starting to pick up a bit of slipstream, working our way down the straight, and let's see where P1 has come out. You can see P1 is not too far in the distance. This undercut on the soft tyres, obviously pitting that little bit earlier against the worn tyres of P1, has really helped us out, and I was quite surprised we were this close to him. My guess is P1 must have made a few errors on this race, maybe a couple of errors on a couple of corners, because I expected him to be further ahead than he is right now. But this race now is really starting to heat up. You can see we've got the full slipstream of Fire. We've got 1 lap fresher tyres in him. We've got P1 a little bit ahead there, but he's on medium tyres, completely fresh medium tyres. This is going to be a really interesting battle. How will this pan out? Who knows in this race as we go to the replay camera there. And you can see on this camera just how close the battle is for the lead. We can see quite a big gap to P4, so we do not need to worry about that. This is a complete battle for the podium. Who will come out on top, as we're right behind Fire now in the braking distance, trying to stay as close as we can in the slipstream so we can go for a move. Maybe you can see getting really close there through the corners and managing to stay with him with them fresher tyres, as Fire's now managing to get up to the slipstream of P1. This is going to be an extremely intense race, racing at Sardegna A with the Group 2 cars, and a race that I really did enjoy. We had so many races like this at this combination during this week. We had a lot of quite hectic and some frustrating races, but we also had some absolutely brilliant races like this. And again, look at the graphics as they come through them corners. I love this game. It looks so amazing as we're working our way down the straight. All 3 cars, none of us using a custom livery, probably because we're mainly on the second account, so most people have their liveries on their main account. So yeah, on our second account we haven't loaded anything on. But yeah, into the braking zone. Fire's going to go for a move. He's trying to put P1 under pressure. He's trying to work the lines, trying to find the way past us. We're now getting very close as well. This is getting super intense as we look up the right hand side. We're not going to go for a move. We're kind of just doing that just so we can see where the corner is, because it's very difficult when you use the view that we use when you're driving close to other cars and you've obviously got the loss of aero. It's very difficult to make the corners perfectly. So just having a little look, getting our braking references, and yeah, just trying to see if we can concentrate on seeing if we can push and maybe go for the win in this race. We're definitely in a strong position here with the fresher tyres. This is going to be really interesting as now Fire gets that slipstream from P1. Is he going to go for a move into this right hand corner? I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, he's not really in a position to go for a move there as we work our way through this right hand corner, getting on the power nice and early through there, powering our way out and working up behind Fire and seeing if we can go for a move into the braking zone. No, we're too far back. Fire's too far back. And yeah, this is really interesting. Great racing though, really fun so far. And so far, all clean as we're approaching the end of lap 10. 2 more laps to go. This is going to be an intense battle all the way to the finish. Fire's definitely got a little bit more pace than P1. P1's tyres are starting to obviously come back a bit towards our tyres because our tyres are a little bit older. Everything is equaling out in this race, so it's going to be very interesting how this all pans out as we work our way over the line to start lap 11. We've got the slipstreams of Fire. Can we go for a move? We're a bit too far back here, but as we come through here, Fire's going to do another little bit of a moving around to see if he can find some space around the outside. He manages to get a bit around the outside, but great defending from P1 there. Manages to hold a very good line, and we can't really do much from behind. Again, we're having to look at the corner just so we can see the entry into the corner, but P1 makes a mistake. He's gone wide. That's going to give Fire the run into P1 and myself the run into P2, and we now have the slipstream to Fire, and we've got that fresher tyre. So into the braking distance, very late on the brakes there, trying to get as much traction out of this car as possible with this side. Fire trying to break the slipstream. He knows that we're going to go for a move as soon as possible. This is an intense race. What a race this has been. Proper enjoyable race. This is the type of race that we love having on GT Sport as we work our way into the right hand corner here again, trying to spot that brake, taking a very tight line while we're in that dirty air of Fire. Fire gets really good pull out of that corner, very good traction, and now we have P3 right behind us. Is he going to go for a move into this corner? No, we go half defensive there just to try and cover it. So trying to be defensive while attacking Fire. This is a very difficult position to be in, but at the moment we're making it work as again Fire trying to break that slipstream. We're just going to try and follow it. We probably should have just stayed on our normal racing line as we get a very nice entry into this corner and a very nice exit. You can see we've managed to gain on Fire as Fire is struggling with rear traction. We're going to have a really good run on him now. Will we go for the move around the outside into turn 1? It's a very tricky move to make. Getting the slipstream in 6th gear. We go around the right side and we've got a really nice run on him here. All the way around the outside. We go as far as we can. We give him space. Fire just taps us there and we clip the wall. However, we get away with it. We didn't lose too much pace. Sometimes you can be stopped there, but we go back up the inside, side by side with Fire. This is brilliant racing, and yeah, totally enjoyable stuff as we could have died in that situation. We could have been in that wall and that would have been the race over. But again, P1 runs wide. We've now got the run on the outside of Fire, and we're going to be able to go into a position of P2 side by side with Fire. This is intense stuff. Great racing though for the win in this race, in this daily race. And yeah, super fun racing as again we managed to get ourselves back into P2, and now we've got the run on P1, and we know that he's on medium tyres. We know our tyres are a lot fresher than what Fire's were, and we've got a massive run. You can see we're going to go down the left hand side. Can we make this work around the outside? We brake super late down to 2nd gear to get that rotation on the car, on the power, and we're squeezed into the barrier. An unfortunate way to end the race. Now I don't think it was particularly, I don't know if it was 100% on, pure dirty driving. I just think that in the heat of the moment, he just thought, I'm running this car as hard as I can to the outside. And unfortunately, we got pushed into the barrier and we lost that position. So I do think we would have had P1 there. We'll show you the replay from onboard his car. And I do think that he knew we were there. He must have known he was there, because even on the bumper cam view, you could see my car on the left-hand side. But we're going to go over the line for a P3 finish with quite an intense battle. That was great fun racing. But let's take a look at the replay from onboard his car. You can see As we're coming through here, you can see my car going down the left-hand side, and you can actually see on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see my car clearly there, but look at its throttle inputs, completely flat to the floor, and just pushes us into the wall. And yeah, I think it was a bit naughty, but at the end of the day, it's only a daily race, so no harm done. But it was a bit frustrating. We probably would have won that race, and it would have been a brilliant, entertaining win, but we come away with a P3 and a really fun race. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of that move at the end. Was he fair to push me into the barrier like that? I'm not too sure, but I really did enjoy that race. But thanks again for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Bye, everyone.